Hey, it's Kelsey Race again with another video blog for I think it's our fifth video blog for Project 8. So this reading of Eva and Franco Montez, right? A lot easier to understand, luckily. And I have like 5 pages worth of notes, so bear with me, sorry. Montez's, yeah, are trying to prove that art is free and it's open to and for everyone. The fact that held.com had the exhibit open in the first place online was kind of just asking for the art to be used, because once something is on the internet, who knows where it's going to go. And even though they have all those copyrights, and the copyrights or whatnot, unless it's physically posted, it's not going to stop Montez, let alone anyone really. And if they didn't want, if Hell.com didn't want it to be taken in the first place, they shouldn't have one. They should have one, enabled it to be taken, or enabled it to not let it be copied, or two, to not even have posted it in the first place. Because, like I said earlier, once something's on the internet, it can be traced anywhere. That's why it's kind of dangerous to or not dangerous, but trying to find the right word. You just have to be careful on your part, because let's just say, for example, if you had a nude picture of yourself online, there's no telling where it can not stop, basically. So to Montez, they're not really they think they're not really stealing anything. The term hacktivism differs from Montez's theft, because by hacking someone's site, it's an act against the person. Whereas for Eva and Franco, they don't just go to any site, they look for what they're interested in and what attracts them, just as any artist would. And they try to capture the image that they want to depict. Where hacktivism is strictly trying to take something that's, or a person who hacks, yeah, is strictly trying to take something that's not theirs and use it as their own, and they try not to get caught. But even Franco, their theft is known eventually, and they don't care. It's almost kind of the point for them to get caught in the end, and they're using the copy in an artistic way. Their artistic way just so happens to be theft, and people being stolen from are obviously not going to appreciate that, so that's why. Once something is on the internet, it's not, or to them, in the book, Frank or Montez's were saying that once something's on the internet, it's not original anymore. And I actually totally understand what they're trying to say. That and well, that Eva and Franco, they don't see any harm in using anything, because using anything that's on the internet and mashing it with other things to create their own art, because technically what's on the internet is already just a copy. I, of course, wouldn't consider stealing, stealing from people, but in their minds, their mindset about how they go about doing this is, I have to say, is wrongfully clever, because it's true, it's just a copy. Originally, it was a picture of something in real life, and then they just happened to post it on the internet, so then they took from there. I noticed he said knowledge, or they said knowledge is only a form of plagiarism. And when I read that, it caught my attention, and but I would have to say that I disagree with that, because um, I can understand how they see it like that, like how knowledge is passed from person to person, and it's all the same, so it's like copied over and over. But using the word plagiarism kind of kills the statement, because it degrades knowledge and gives it a negative connotation. Whereas knowledge shouldn't be frowned upon. It's something that should enlighten a person and make them stronger. Um, yeah, I just thought I analyzed that part, because it kind of I didn't agree with it very much. Um, for the Nike swoosh, um, I consider uh, I consider it humorous on Eva and Franco's part, because they were able to create this chaos from first placing it in the open for the public eye to see. It was smart of them to put it in a public place, by the way, like a popular place. And so once it went, so first it went from, or they put it out in the open, then it reached the tabloids, which later led to an even larger disappointed audience, because they didn't like the fact that it was like this American symbol would be taking a huge part of their your Vienna area, because it was something pretty, and then all of a sudden this like American like giant box was there, so it was throwing them off. And then only after all of these Europeans were rattled up, Nike finally found out, and then they decided to sue. But I have a feeling Eva and Franco, they wanted this to happen, because in their minds, they themselves are chaotic, and by doing this, they were just taking their chaotic ideas and placing them in other people's minds, which of course freaks everyone else out. And while in the end, the whole process is a simple work of art to them. For Nike, of course, I can see them being offended still, obviously, because it's their product falsely being promoted. However, as for me, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm offended. I honestly don't know how to feel about it, because I think it would be more, it would be easier to have an opinion if I got to experience it, and actually, if I like lived there, it would probably affect me more. I guess if I didn't know that this was for art, I would probably ask, like, what's the point? Because it's something that's kind of random, and it would seem kind of dumb to me. I'm not gonna lie. But knowing that it's art, I think, well, that's Eva and Franco for you. For Second Life avatars, are like a portrait, because it portrays what the creator of the avatar wants to appear as. When we look at the portrait that we like, it is engraved in our heads that, hey, that is what I want to look like. And Second Life avatars differ from portraits, because with a portrait, you don't always automatically get what you want. Don't always get what you want, or like, where like in Second Life, you can choose right on the spot how you want to depict your identity. If a visitor were to see the performances, they would be extremely lost. Even in the or whoa, backtrack. When people see the synthetic performances, it's not as critical. When it's not, I don't want to say critical, more like your sense of urgency doesn't switch on, because these actions the synthetic performances are synthetic, and they're fake, and because it's happening in a virtual world, it doesn't, it's not, nothing will harm you in real life. Whereas compared to like the performances being done in real life, it's extremely scary and frightening. So Second Life gives us the opportunity to push our limits, because in Second Life, technically, there is no limits. People are more willing to participate in these synthetic performances, knowing that their real self and others won't physically be hurt. If if a visitor were to see the synthetic performances for the first time, it would be extremely lost, because even when I first saw the pictures, I was kind of weirded out. Um, if the participant is aware of the historical precedent, of course it's going to be familiar and not a surprise. It's kind of like how when you throw a surprise party for someone, everyone who knows about the party are aware of the situation, and so they know what's going on. Whereas the person being surprised is the unknowing person, and they'll be shocked about the situation. Um, Evan Frank Ivan Franco's Ivan Franco Matez's art is I think is very diverse. They create various identities, and with each identity they narrate a story, each story being different. Then they use the media to spread the word, and in order to get a sincere reaction from the audiences. The fact that they do this may seem absurd in a way, but if you try to look at it through their angle, it makes complete sense, total sense. If people knew the truth about their work being fake, people would automatically criticize them, and their reaction would be biased. So, by fooling the audiences for a while, Montez's can get an honest and true reaction. Just like playing a practical joke, when you're not going to like give away the punchline right away, right off the bat. You have to like let the story build, and then eventually go for the kill. Flogging a dead horse is definitely a figure of speech, where you take something that's like dead, gone, and like over with, and you're still trying to sell or promote the subject and try to publicize it. It's like taking an old trend that was like, just like not going to happen, and trying to promote it. And yeah, in a way, I guess you can kind of say it's kind of like taking underdog and then making the underdog like big, kind of something like that. But yeah, that covers my analysis of the readings for Ivan Franco Matez. So yeah, see you guys later.